The year is 1288. Across Europe and Asia, a world of change unfolds. The Mongol Empire casts a long shadow. The Mamluks of Egypt hold sway over a rich land. In Anatolia, the Ottoman Turks rise. The late 13th century was an era of shifting sands. The Byzantine Empire is weakened and fragmented. The Seljuk Sultanate of Rum is crumbling. Osman Gazi leads his Turkish warriors. Osman inherits a strategic territory in Anatolia. His domain is ripe for expansion. Osman sees an opportunity for a new destiny. His warriors are ready to answer his call. The stage is set for a clash of civilizations. This is the story of the Battle of Eskişehir. Osman Gazi, born into a world of conflict and opportunity, was destined for greatness. Inheriting a legacy of leadership, he quickly proved himself a capable and charismatic warlord. Under his father Ertugrul's guidance, Osman learned the art of war and diplomacy. His growing reputation attracted seasoned warriors, bolstering his ranks. Osman's early campaigns focused on consolidating power and expanding territory. With each victory, his legend grew, inspiring loyalty and fear. The Byzantine Empire, once a beacon of civilization, faced decline by the late 13th century. Internal strife and external threats had left it weakened. The Fourth Crusade in 1204 fractured the empire. Though Constantinople was reclaimed in 1261, the empire remained scarred. Emperors faced threats from Balkan kingdoms, Latin states, and Turkish emirates. The Anatolian frontier became vulnerable. The Akritae were weakened by neglect. Byzantine armies were ill-prepared. The rise of Osman posed a new threat. Osman's ambition and leadership set him apart. A clash of civilizations was inevitable. The Battle of Eskişehir would be a key turning point. Osman Gazi, born into a world of nomadic tents and thundering hooves, was destined for greatness. His Kai tribe, part of the Oghuz Turkic migration, were renowned for their equestrian skills and warrior tradition. From a young age, Osman learned to ride, hunt and fight, absorbing values of courage and loyalty. His father, Ertugrul, established a principality in western Anatolia, teaching Osman the art of war and diplomacy. Under his father's guidance, Osman flourished, demonstrating military strategy and inspiring loyalty. The Byzantine Empire, once a beacon of civilization, now teetered on the brink of collapse. The once impregnable walls of Constantinople symbolized a fading glory. Weak emperors and external enemies eroded the empire's foundations. The Fourth Crusade in 1204 dealt a mortal wound to the Byzantine state. Constantinople was sacked, its treasures looted, and its citizens subjected to horrors. Though reclaimed in 1261, the empire remained a shadow of its former self. The Byzantine-Ottoman frontier was a tinderbox awaiting a spark. Turkish nomads and warriors encroached, driven by ambition and plunder. Byzantine guards, outnumbered and desperate, fought rearguard actions. Osman Gazi launched bold raids, sensing Byzantine weakness. His Ghazis overpowered demoralized Byzantine defenders. Villages were plundered, towns torched, people lived in fear. These raids tested Byzantine defenses and expanded Ottoman territory. Each raid bolstered Osman's prestige and demoralized Byzantines. Byzantine authorities, preoccupied and powerless, couldn't stop the Ottomans. Appeals to the West for aid were ignored. The stage was set for a major confrontation. The Battle of Eskişehir would forge Anatolia's destiny. News of Osman Gazi's growing power spread through the Byzantine countryside, carried by terrified villagers. Each plundered caravan and captured fortress testified to the Ottoman Turks' rising might. Byzantine officials in Constantinople, distracted by courtly intrigue, could no longer ignore the eastern threat. The Byzantine Empire, weakened by internal strife, faced a deadly game of survival. The loss of Anatolia, a vital source of resources, would hasten the empire's decline. The treasury was depleted, the army a shadow of its former self, and the emperor's authority waned. The Byzantine governor of Eskişehir, a seasoned soldier named Theodore, found himself in a perilous position. His city, strategically located on the Porsuk River, controlled a vital trade route and served as a gateway to western Anatolia. Theodore knew Osman Gazi coveted Eskişehir and would soon set his sights on the city. Despite doubts about imperial support, Theodore was determined to defend Eskişehir. He sent urgent messages to Constantinople, pleading for reinforcements, but received only vague promises. The empire seemed content to sacrifice Eskişehir. Section 2. Scouting the enemy, intelligence and deception. Osman Gazi, a shrewd strategist, understood the importance of gathering intelligence on his enemies. He dispatched scouts and spies into Byzantine territory to gather information. Disguised as merchants or travelers, they infiltrated markets and taverns. They bribed officials for valuable intelligence. Osman used deception to confuse Byzantine commanders, forcing them to divide their forces. Armed with this knowledge, Osman formulated a plan for a major victory. Section 3. A city in fear, Eskişehir braces for conflict. The citizens of Eskişehir, a diverse mix of Greeks, Armenians, Turks and other ethnicities, went about their daily lives under a pall of fear and uncertainty. The once bustling marketplace, a hub of commerce and social interaction, was now eerily quiet, as merchants hesitated to bring their goods to town, fearing Ottoman raids. The sound of hammers and chisels echoed from the city walls as frantic efforts were made to repair crumbling battlements and reinforce gates. Governor Theodore, despite his outward calm and resolute demeanor, shared his people's anxieties. He knew that his small garrison, consisting mostly of local militia and a handful of professional soldiers, was no match for the battle-hardened Ottoman army. He'd sent numerous messengers to Constantinople, begging for reinforcements and supplies, but so far his pleas had been met with silence. Rumors of Ottoman movements swirled through the city's streets and alleyways, each more outlandish and terrifying than the last. Some whispered of a vast Ottoman horde, tens of thousands strong, armed with strange and terrible weapons. Others spoke of Osman Gazi's mystical powers, claiming that he could summon storms and command wild beasts to do his bidding. The city's religious leaders, both Christian and Muslim, sought to calm the populace, offering prayers for deliverance and reminding them that God's will would be done. But even their words rung hollow in the face of the growing Ottoman threat. Eskişehir, a city long accustomed to peace and prosperity, now braced itself for the onslaught, knowing that its fate hung precariously in the balance. Section 4. The Ottoman War Machine. Preparations for victory. As the sun dipped below the Anatolian horizon, Osman Gazi gathered his commanders in his tent. The air crackled with anticipation as these hardened warriors awaited their leader's orders. They were a diverse but unified force, bound together by loyalty to Osman and a fervent belief in their destiny. Osman, his dark eyes gleaming with determination, unfurled a map of the region. He spoke in measured tones, outlining his plan of attack. He emphasized the importance of discipline, coordination, and unwavering courage. The Ottoman army, though smaller than some of the great armies of history, was a formidable force. At its core were the mounted Ghazis, skilled horsemen and fierce fighters. These were men who lived for the thrill of battle, their loyalty to Osman absolute. Supporting the Ghazis were infantry units, armed with spears, swords and axes. These men provided a steady backbone for the Ottoman army. Osman also brought with him a contingent of engineers and sappers. These men would play a vital role in breaching the walls of Eskişehir. The Ottoman war machine was poised to strike. The morning sun, rising over the Anatolian plains, glinted off the spear points and helmets of the Ottoman army. A hush fell over the assembled ranks as Osman Gazi, mounted on his war horse, rode slowly along the lines. He wore a simple coat of mail, his only adornment a green turban. Osman addressed his men in a voice that boomed across the assembled ranks. He spoke of the glories of Islam, the weakness of the enemy, and the rich rewards that awaited them in victory. He reminded them of their ancestors, fierce warriors who had carved out empires. The Ottoman battle plan was simple but effective, overwhelmed the Byzantine left flank with a lightning cavalry charge. The Byzantine forces, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, would be forced to fight on multiple fronts. As the first rays of dawn illuminated the battlefield, a horn sounded. The Ottoman cavalry surged forward, their war cries rending the air. The ground trembled beneath the hooves of their mounts as they rode down on the unsuspecting Byzantine left flank. The battle for Eskişehir had begun. The sudden onslaught of the Ottoman cavalry caught the Byzantine left flank by surprise. The Byzantine soldiers, many of them raw recruits, had expected a more cautious advance. The sight of the charging Ottoman horsemen sent a shiver of fear down their spines. Despite the initial shock, the Byzantine defenders fought back with a ferocity born of desperation. They formed a shield wall, their spears bristling like porcupines. The clash of steel against steel filled the air as the two armies collided. The Byzantine commander, Basil, rallied his men, urging them to hold the line. He knew that the fate of Eskişehir hung in the balance. He fought with the courage of a lion, his sword flashing as he cut down one Ottoman attacker after another. For a time, the Byzantine defences held. The Ottoman cavalry, unable to break through, wheeled and charged again and again. But the Byzantine position was precarious. Outnumbered and slowly being worn down, they desperately needed reinforcements, yet none were forthcoming. Osman Gazi, observing the battle from a slight rise, recognized that his initial assault had stalled. The Byzantine left flank, though badly bloodied, was holding firm. A lesser commander might have been content to continue the frontal assaults. But Osman was not a leader who relied solely on brute force. He was a master of strategy, a chess player who could anticipate his opponent's moves. He summoned his most trusted lieutenant, Konur Alp, and issued a series of crisp orders. Konur Alp, his face creased with the scars of countless battles, listened intently. He then wheeled his horse and galloped off, his voice booming out commands. Osman's plan was audacious, but brilliant. While the bulk of his cavalry continued to press the attack, Konur Alp would lead a detachment on a wide flanking maneuver. The Byzantine defenders, their attention focused on the front, were oblivious to the danger. The trap was set, and Osman Gazi, like a master hunter, was about to spring it. The fate of Eskişehir hung in the balance. The hammer blow Konur Alp's decisive charge. The Byzantine soldiers, their shields locked, held their ground against the relentless onslaught. The ground ran slick with blood, a testament to the ferocity of the fighting. Each Ottoman charge was met with a bristling wall of spears, but the tide was beginning to turn in favor of the Ottomans. Governor Theodore, his armor dented and bloodied, rallied his men. He scanned the horizon, hoping for reinforcements, but his hopes dwindled with each passing moment. The sun climbed higher in the sky, the heat bearing down on the exhausted combatants. It was then that a new sound cut through the din of battle. The battle cry of the Ottoman Ghazis coming from the rear. Konur Alp, his eyes blazing, led his cavalry charge like a wolf pack descending upon its prey. The Byzantine rearguard, caught completely by surprise, crumbled under the force of the Ottoman charge. Many broke ranks and fled, desperate to escape the slaughter. Those who stood their ground were cut down like wheat before a scythe. The Ottoman hammer blow had landed and the Byzantine defences shattered. The fall of Eskişehir, a city sacked, a city transformed. Panic spread through the Byzantine ranks like wildfire. The sight of Konur Alp's cavalry rampaging through their rear shattered what little resistance remained. Governor Theodore, his face etched with despair, realized that the battle was lost. He ordered his surviving men to retreat within the city walls, but the Ottoman tide was unstoppable. The Ghazis surged forward, eager to claim the spoils of victory. They poured through the breached gates and scaled the crumbling walls. The streets of Eskişehir became a scene of carnage and destruction. For 3 days and nights, the sack of Eskişehir continued. The Ghazis turned their attention to plunder, looting homes and shops. Osman Gazi allowed his men their moment of triumph. But Osman quickly moved to restore order, forbidding the killing of civilians and the desecration of religious sites. He understood that true victory lay in consolidating his gains and winning the loyalty of the conquered populace. Eskişehir was now firmly under Ottoman control, a testament to Osman's growing power. In the wake of victory, consolidating the Ottoman grip was essential. The victory at Eskişehir sent shockwaves throughout the region. For the Byzantines, it was a devastating blow, a stark reminder of their vulnerability. The news of the defeat spread panic among the Byzantine settlements. Osman Gazi, ever the shrewd strategist, received envoys with a mixture of firmness and generosity. He accepted their pledges of allegiance, recognizing that diplomacy could be just as effective as warfare. He offered his protection to those who submitted willingly. To consolidate his hold on Eskişehir, Osman appointed a trusted lieutenant as governor. He ordered the repair of the city walls and the rebuilding of damaged homes and businesses. He encouraged Turkish nomads to settle in the surrounding countryside. The Battle of Eskişehir was more than just a military victory. It was a pivotal moment in the birth of an empire. It established Osman Gazi as the preeminent Turkish leader in the region. The victory provided the Ottomans with a strategic foothold in western Anatolia. A legacy forged in blood and victory, the significance of Eskişehir is profound. The Battle of Eskişehir stands as a pivotal moment in the rise of the Ottoman Empire. It marked a decisive shift in the balance of power between the fading Byzantine Empire and the ascendant Ottoman state. It was at Eskişehir that the Ottoman Empire truly announced its arrival on the world stage. For the Byzantines, the defeat was a bitter pill to swallow. It exposed the fragility of their defenses and the weakness of their leadership. The loss of Eskişehir sent shockwaves through the remaining Byzantine territories. The battle highlighted the changing nature of warfare in the region. The Byzantine army proved no match for the speed and ferocity of the Ottoman Ghazis. The old order was crumbling, giving way to a new era of warfare. The true significance of Eskişehir lies in its long-term consequences. It established Osman Gazi as the undisputed leader of the Turkish tribes in the region. It provided the Ottomans with a strategic foothold in western Anatolia. The Ottoman state was poised to embark on a remarkable journey of expansion and conquest. The seeds of empire were sown at the Battle of Eskişehir. The Battle of Eskişehir was not merely a clash of armies, it was a clash of destinies. It was here that the seeds of the Ottoman Empire were sown. Osman Gazi, through his courage and strategic brilliance, set in motion a chain of events that would reverberate through history. The victory at Eskişehir imbued the Ottoman state with a sense of destiny. This sense of divine purpose attracted ambitious men from across the Islamic world to Osman's banner. Skilled warriors, learned scholars, and ambitious administrators flocked to the Ottoman court. Osman understood that empires were not built on military victories alone. He established a system of government based on Islamic principles. He encouraged trade, agriculture, and the arts. Osman fostered a spirit of tolerance and inclusion within his growing empire. He recognized that the Ottoman state encompassed a diverse population. He allowed his non-Muslim subjects to practice their religions freely. This policy of religious tolerance would become a hallmark of Ottoman rule. It contributed to the empire's stability and longevity. From nomadic roots to imperial heights, the legacy of Osman Gazi is monumental. Osman Gazi, founder of a dynasty, died in 1326, but his legacy shaped the Ottoman Empire for centuries. He left behind a vibrant, expanding empire with a strong foundation and tradition of tolerance. His successors transformed a small principality into a powerful empire. The Ottoman Empire conquered Constantinople in 1453, marking a new era. They expanded across North Africa, the Middle East, and southeastern Europe. The empire controlled key trade routes, fostering cultural exchange and economic development. Its military might challenge Europe with its navy in the Mediterranean and armies at Vienna. The Battle of Eskişehir ignited the empire's rise. It was the spark that ignited the empire's rise, the moment when a band of frontier warriors, led by a visionary leader, dared to dream of greatness. It was the spark that ignited the empire's rise. It is a testament to the power of human ambition, the allure of conquest, and the enduring legacy of a leader who, through one decisive victory, changed the course of history.